The first Los Dos Potrillos, we opened in 2002. We started clearly from the bottom. We were left with $5.87 left in my account. The way I told my family, if we don't make it, if we don't succeed, I'm young enough where I can still be, get back to waiting tables. And here we are 18 years later with 4 locations now, and very successful locations. We now have a brewery as well within the Parker location. We are, I believe, the first Mexican restaurant in the state of Colorado to own a brewery and a Mexican restaurant under the same roof. All the recipes are all my mother's recipes. They are the way that she used to cook for us. When I was 14 years old, I had my first job. It was sacking groceries. It was called Ace Supermarket. I asked the manager for a job, and he told me, "Well, how old are you?" I said, "Well, no, I'm going to be 15. I said, "But how old are you?" I said, "Well, I had just turned 14. And I said, "Well, I turned 15 next week." And the guy said, "Well, come back when you're 15. Next week, I go and ask him, "Hey, today's my birthday. Can I get a job?" And sure enough, the guy hired me. And my sister's husband used to own a restaurant. I wanted to work at the restaurant. I started as a dishwasher. After dishwasher, I said, I want to be better than dishwasher. I want to be a busboy. From busboy, I moved on to server. Server said, I could do more than this. I want to be a manager. I want to own my restaurant. Las Palmas Mexican restaurant was on 47th and Federal. I managed it. It was a 10-year job that I had there. After I said, I want to open up a restaurant on my own. And that's when we opened up Los Dos Potrillos in 2002. In the suburbs was a place that I always thought that would be a good concept for a Mexican restaurant because of the recipes that we use, the quality that we serve. I think that's why I chose the suburbs, and a lot of people did not believe in me. They said, no, the suburbs will never work. You need to be over here where the other Mexican restaurants are to try and compete with them. But I said, no, we got to be where there's no restaurants. And sure enough, it worked. The support that we get from the community, it's unbelievable. When we originally started Los Dos Potrillos on Holly, it was 1,400 square feet. Then 6 months later, we took over the next unit. A year later, we took over the next unit, which it was 5,000 square feet right now we have. Now, that's the smallest one out of all the other 3 locations, but it's still one of the busiest ones. Every night, lunches, nights, our restaurants are all packed. We can't say one is slower, the number 2 is slower, number 3, they all do the same amount of business, and it's just this great support that we have from the community here in the suburbs. So when my boys were little, we used to travel to Mexico every year. We used to drive to Mexico. Right when we got home to my parents' house, my dad would open up the door and they would run to the small field that my father had. He had with tomatoes, peppers, corn, and they would run. And my father would say, they looked like 2 potrillos. Right. Potrillos means colt. Yes. Running on fields. And we didn't have a business back then, but the name Mis Dos Potrillos, just stuck in my head. Said, well, instead of Mis Dos Potrillos, which is my 2 potrillos, I said, why don't we say Los Dos Potrillos? And it just stuck in my head. And sure enough, when we came to finding the name for the restaurant, so there it is, Los Dos Potrillos. And that's the story of how we got the name. Okay, my boys, they're helping out so much. I could not do it without them. Now with as big as we're getting, if they weren't helping me, there's no way that I could be doing what we're doing now. They have great support. They're literally taking over the business. The specialties that we have are green chili. I don't think anybody in Colorado makes it the way we do. And that's one of the biggest things that I believe that attracts the people from everywhere. Our green chili is super, super popular. Our carnitas, fajitas. We like to give back to the community, especially come Thanksgiving, Christmas. Every year, we'll pack at least 800 to 1,000 burritos every morning for Christmas. We feed the homeless, not just with burritos, with orange juice, coffee, tea. We got to support the schools, get the kids involved, get the parents involved, and that's how we like to give it back to